Hi everyone, welcome back to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. This is your host, Iggy. And tonight I thought I would talk a little bit about some of the oldest soldiers in my collection. These date back to 1983, 1984, and 1985. Like I mentioned in an earlier video, my toy soldiers had mysteriously vanished. Mom and Dad claimed not to know what happened to them. And I actually believe them. I think what happened is the people that came to install the new carpet had taken them. Perhaps they thought that we were giving them away because we had them all in the living room in brown paper bags. And they probably, oh, these guys don't want these. Anyway, they disappeared. And for many, many years, I always wondered what happened to them. In fact, I still wonder about what happened to them. But they were gone, and I started collecting soldiers again. I got inspired to collect soldiers again in 1977 when my mom gave me the Mark's Battleground playset for Christmas, somewhat as a joke. And I started getting interested in toy soldiers again. I had gone to college and I went into the Army, and when I came back, I was going to Cal State Northridge, and there was a hobby store located near the college on Nordoff, and I would walk over there in between classes because I had like an hour break, and I would go through there, and I found boxes of Airfix and Matchbox, and I go, oh, these are cool. And I remember buying those, and that's what you see here. So these are actually the oldest soldiers apart from my Mark's Battleground set that I have. The first set up here is British Infantry, which you see here. My favorite pose in this group is this one of the officer. I'll try and get in tight on that. I like that one a lot. And this one with the Thompson. I always like grenade throwing. I guess everyone has their favorite poses. Mine is probably the grenade throwing guy. I always like the rifle guys. This one is kind of bizarre. It looks like a Japanese knee mortar, which if you put it on your knee, you would fracture your leg. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. So there's all the Brits for... Now they came 14 per box, and I believe there was 8 poses. Let me see. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8 different poses. I also bought the Matchbox. Now what you see here is 2 sets of them. Now, in the beginning, when I was first collecting, I very rarely bought 2 of anything. So this is somewhat unusual. And the reason for that is that I didn't have a lot of money and I wanted to get a lot of different things. So I tried not to repeat things. Now, of course, I repeat everything over and over again. But in those days, it was just 1 box and that was it. This one here has a Vickers Machine Gun, which is sort of, I always thought was somewhat of an awkward looking pose. He's kind of stiff. If you were being fired at, I don't think your posture would be so ramrod rigid. And this one, instead of a Piat, he has a bazooki. I always liked the Bren Gunners. Matchbox was much more generous with their boxes. They would put 13 different poses with 15 figures per box. And so that's why you see so many. Now there's one thing here. I'll tell you why I don't like this figure. Let me get this out for you. This crawling figure. Look how big his helmet is. It looks like a little boy wearing... See how big his helmet is? It doesn't look right. When I first bought him, I never noticed that. He looks okay from this angle, but wow. He's got the kitchen sink on his, or what do they call a wash basin on his head. Up in this corner here, we have the British Paratroops, Perez, and those were the third set of figures that I bought back in the day when I first started collecting. And I really like that guy tossing the grain, and he's holding the Sten gun. That's pretty cool. And that, of course, is probably Anthony Hopkins, or Sean Connery. You know that movie, Market Garden? That's my favorite part of the movie, is the scenes with Sean Connery and Anthony Hopkins. The rest of the movie, I just didn't really care for it that much. So you see all the... I wonder if there's 2 boxes here as well. There's got to be more than 14 figures here. We got 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Yeah, this is 2 boxes. Okay. And along the front, we have, at the base of the steps, we have modern British infantry. Now, at the time, my reasoning was that I would put these with my British paratroops, and I would have them in the background. I guess my reasoning is that their helmets were similar looking. The helmets would have been different because I think in 1944 they introduced the turtle-style helmet as opposed to the classic, what we call the Tommy helmet, I guess. I used to know the name of this helmet, and of course, it's not coming to mind right now. And then over here is sort of like a bonus. These figures I bought I think, in 2004. They're Unimax figures, and they're Desert 8th Army. They have pretty cool bases. For instance, this one here. I like the way they made the helmets look like they had been chipped from wear and tear out in the desert. I didn't show you that guy, did I? Here are the bases for them. I haven't glued them on yet. So each of these figures that you see along here would have bases. Now, there are casualties of war when you have your figures in storage. I'll show you one of those. I pulled this poor guy out, and he looks like the Venus de Milo. He's got he was severed at the ankles, and one of his legs was amputated. But I did find the leg. I was really surprised. It was in a different bag. And I pulled it out. I knew what it was right away, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I found that. Okay, guys, I wanted to make this a short video, but thanks for coming along with me. This goes way back for me. How many years is that? That's 30, up to 37. Oh my God, is it that long already? I guess these figures up here are 37 years old. That's how long I've been, that's what started me on my path to collecting seriously, was these guys up here. I guess everyone that collects has a certain set or figure that got them turned on to collecting, and that's mine right there. That's how it all began. Thank you for getting Iggy with it. I always love it when you guys come along. I hope that everyone's okay, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.